Mr. Osterlin, can you hear me? Check, check. Sir, can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Oh, turn off your camera. Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Sir. Okay. Check, check. 1, 2. Sir, can you hear me? Oh, can you hear me, sir? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Hello, hello. Check, check. 1, 2. Where am I at? Oh, great. Okay. Huh? Nothing. Yeah, there's my contact. Check, check. Can you hear me now? Hold on. Check, check. 1, 2. Where's the output? See here. I got the output there. You should be able to see us.
Can you see anything, Mr. Osterman? You just see the EPIS.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Check, check. 1, 2. Can you hear us now?
Can you hear anything?
Check, check. 1, 2. Check, check.
What if you remove your earpiece? Okay. Go ahead and try it.
Check, check. 1, 2. Mic check. 1, 2. I can't hear him either. Let's see. I'd be able to hear him. Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Thumbs up if you can hear me, sir. Can you hear me? Check, check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. You'll be able to hear me. I have it on mute. We'll only be able to hear it back here. Check, check, 1, 2. Check. He should be able to hear me. Check, check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. Oh, wait.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you hear me, Ray?
I can, but he can't. Check, check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. Is he on? He's on his phone and talking to you at the same time? Oh, he's.
Okay, you know what? Let me hang up the phone and then let's try it again.
Check, check. Can you hear me now? Okay, excellent. Yeah, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. It's because you're on the phone. Your phone will override the Zoom meeting. Okay, but I can hear you and I can see you and you can see the dais, right? Okay, cool. You should be good. Yes, I'll get him up there. Okay. All right, sir. Yeah, don't sign off or anything, okay? But you should be good if you want. Put yourself on mute, and when they call on you, then you can unmute and speak. And then make sure you remember try to project a little bit too. Yeah, and if you want, if you could just leave your camera on, please. Okay, thank you, sir. I'm gonna get off this mic, and we'll start soon, probably.
Good morning. It's October 7th, 2025. This is a special board meeting for the El Paso ISD Board of Trustees. It is 8:05 a.m. and this meeting is called to order.
Good morning. We have two speakers, or one speaker signed up for both items, so we can take that speaker at the same time. For item 2A and 3A, we can still play the message, please? Or no, we're not doing the message? Okay, all right. I'm getting the sign in the back that we're not doing the message. So let's see. First speaker on the agenda, Mr. Ross Moore, item 2A, Superintendent Search.
Members, Interim Superintendent Aguirre, my name is Ross Moore, President El Paso AFT. So my question is, we've already had one tainted superintendent search, and EPISD's credibility means a lot. So my question is, when the Hitchcock ISD interim superintendent pops up on the list of candidates, Ms. Anani, will you recuse yourself? Thank you. On the other one, why weren't the slides posted? Are we going back to the Cabrera, Dory Fennenbach days again? Thank you.
And that concludes the speakers for both items 2A and 3A.
Thank you. That will take us to item number 2, discuss and take appropriate action on superintendent search process and search schedule calendar. First of all, thank you everybody for being here so early in the morning. I apologize about my voice. And thank you, Mr. Kazantzis, for also making it our way. We do have to end this meeting promptly at 8:59. I just want the board to know that if we do feel like there's anything we need to come back and discuss, we'll probably schedule a separate meeting for that. So please feel free to take your time. Just know that we do have to end this meeting, particular meeting, promptly at 8:59. I am going to turn this over to Mr. Kazantzis so he can sort of walk us through the process and just kind of have an open and flexible discussion. So if you go ahead and take the mic, thank you.
Okay. Well, good morning. Thank you very much for the opportunity to see you and meet you again here in El Paso ISD. I'm George Kazanis, and I am your search consultant with the Texas Association of School Boards. And today's purpose, as your board president stated, is to review the planning calendar, and just to be sure that we have consensus amongst all of you regarding the certain events and the certain dates that are laid out before you. So appreciate the opportunity to share this with you today. Of course, today is Tuesday, October the 7th. Your calendar may have said Monday. We were looking between Monday and Tuesday to meet with you. But one of the things to discuss is my team coming back out in conducting listening sessions, community involvement type sessions. And you'll notice that I have those slotted the week of October the 27th through the 31st. So that's just a full week. So I'm hoping to bring several other colleagues of mine so that we can be in other certain parts of the community so that we have that opportunity. We certainly always suggest and will have for you an online survey. If it's not already posted just yet, we'll get that link to you. We find the online survey is open, of course, and usually we receive a large response from that. Those responses come to us, and then we come back and prepare a report for you for your review of that. The face-to-face type of community sessions are pretty similar to the online. However, there are many folks that prefer that, and we certainly want to oblige by that and be there so that they do have the opportunity to hear from us and ask questions. And just as a reminder, you hired us as your search consultant, so we're working on behalf of you as a board. So these aren't necessarily attending that you're asked to attend the different community forums, because we do. We share all of that information back with you as your search consultant. So I was suggest that we maybe possibly be able to look at your different districts. There's 7 different districts, and try to have some type of a forum, a meeting within each one. And so I will work with staff to be able to arrange those and to find locations, those that are probably most convenient, things like that. Sometimes certain schools, and if they're higher traffic, things like that may discourage folks from coming, like a high school, things like that. So we'll find a good common ground. I also like to meet with, during those meetings, that could be a combination of staff in the community and the public, but also we could arrange something to meet with the cabinet or the district level here too, administrators. So that's, the goal is to bring those folks in, gives us some time to do some planning, and for me to arrange some folks and travel and things like that. Any questions about that?
Thank you. Are there any questions?
Yes, thank you for being here. So that week is typically very busy for students and parents and schools, and teachers. I mean, it's like there's trunk or treats, it's Halloween. Is it possible to either move that or have more meetings? Is this the only time that you guys are suggesting we have meetings?
Well, it's during the week, and with staff, we generally find that you can oversaturate it, meaning we need to do announcement, work with the staff on that, so that people have an opportunity, because they certainly could go to a different district, different location of the meetings. And so you want to be sure people understand when they are, so that they're not like over a couple of days, things like that. Because they generally last, each one, about 45 minutes to 50 minutes when we gather the input. So the week was really designed because of if you look further down the timeline there, because of your application deadline. We do somewhat have a short timeline, and so there's really not another time that I can find that is dedicated for these types of things to do that. And we certainly wouldn't be here on Friday. I just put the full week.
Right.
We would look more in the middle of the week, a Tuesday.
And what times would
Excuse me.
what times would you be looking at?
Again, I would work with y'all, work with
Okay.
staff to determine some opportune times to do that.
Okay,
So we certainly would avoid Friday, but it's just to keep the week open. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday have always been our best times. to
all
do
right.
that.
Okay, thanks.
Trustee Beals?
Other
I'm so
questions?
sorry. Thank
No.
you so much for that. You got it? Good save. Okay, so question about the meetings with the communities. Are we planning on seeing each individual district, or is there a way, like, for example, District 6 and 7 are the west side? Could we get 2 done at a time and have the 6 and 7 district
They could be
community?
combined.
Okay,
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. That's the expertise that I need from staff to help,
Okay.
maybe with your interim superintendent, things like that, to help us plan and understand the
Right.
best spots.
Okay, thank you for that information. I just, thinking out loud, what's
Of
going to be
course,
the
yeah.
easiest way to do this, because I think it's really important for us to get this meeting out there to the community, at least knowledge of there being a meeting, so that the community can be more engaged and aware.
Absolutely, because as a reminder, these meetings and the information you gain certainly helps continue to build the profile. It helps you all as a trustees. Often I say this, that it confirms you're a trustee, you represent the community, your district. Things you hear, things you know, the information we gather may confirm that, but it also may uncover something else too,
Sure.
just to be sure. And then it's a nice lens that we hope you use for 2 purposes. The first lens is when we're discussing and looking at candidates, that you're looking at that lens that you saw from the community input. Secondly is to help us, and I help guide you and work with you to design your interviews.
Perfect.
And the information you gain can certainly be useful for that in terms of our questioning, things like that.
Awesome, thank you so much.
I'm sorry, I have another question. Those meetings, I know that you said that you would work with us, so maybe we could help guide those, but what do they typically look like? You said staff, is it like a presentation type thing, or is it like a back and forth, or is it?
It's a back and forth.
Okay.
We ask questions and then we listen to dialogue. We
Oh,
want to
okay.
be more listening than talking,
Okay,
but we're there to answer questions. We review the timeline again.
Okay.
To be sure your community understands your steps and your steps you're taking along the way for the process.
okay, all right, thanks.
Any other questions? Trustee Call?
At what point is the job posting finalized?
The job posting has begun, so we have to start recruiting now. And so, again, this background information about the community involvement continues to inform you as we go along the way.
Okay, when was it finalized?
As soon as our contracts were signed and things of that nature, so we were able to at least get the position posted.
Okay.
Because we want as much time, we generally recommend about 4 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks of posting of the position, recruiting of the position, as I mentioned to you in the interview, so that my field service representatives are discussing the position out across the field in Texas, things like that.
Trustee Cuellar?
Yes. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, sir. So I was kind of talking to Trustee Beals up here next to me, just in terms of scheduling, having the listening session, stuff like that. This is just a preliminary type discussion, but in terms of looking at the areas that we represent, kind of the areas throughout El Paso. I know districts 1, 2, and 3, so that would be myself, Trustee Hanani, and Loveridge. There's a lot of rollover into those different areas. So that would be 1, 2, and 3. 4 and 5 would be trustees Overland and Sutton. And there's rollover there and kind of spillover within the northeast area. And then 6 and 7 are trustees Beal and Call. So I mean, in terms of looking at your, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe that would help to suffice. I mean, just to kind of put it out there now, it's something we can definitely discuss, more in detail, but at least this would kind of get us on the ball and kind of let the community know that we're trying to do this, ASAP, to making sure that we can get them, the best area possible, the times that are, best possible for them too, with having a lot of, double working families and mixed families too, so that at least somebody can be in attendance so that they can have, their say at those meetings. But that's just something I'm proposing for right now. Thanks.
Appreciate the feedback. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, another question. So how do you typically advertise for these meetings? Or is that something you work with us again?
We work with El Paso.
And then the district as well, like, is that something we could,
Yes, ma'am. We highly suggest, and we'll work with the district staff to utilize all of your social media channels to post, your website, things like that. We will also talk with your staff, if they haven't done so already, to look, maybe dedicate a part just on the website for the superintendent search,
okay.
things like that.
I would suggest just, right now while we're discussing, maybe flyers and backpacks, because that's like one of the best ways our parents get information. So that's just something that I'd like to put out there, because otherwise, I'm not sure, especially people in my district will get things or not. I mean, they're on social media, but they don't typically check the website. But I know that a paper and a backpack will get to the house. So, okay.
Thank you, Trustee Sutton. Any other questions? Dr. Leverage? Oh, Trustee Osterland, yes.
And not so much of a question, it's more of a statement. When I was reviewing the calendar, the main thing that stuck out to me was there was only one block time that was set aside for the community engagement. My fears of that is that is there any possible way to populate more dates on the calendar, just for the community and their involvements?
To answer that, sir, it would be, though, to maintain that particular week. I don't understand, in terms of other weeks and things, or other times, I just don't believe because of the times when your application deadline is and when you're reviewing application, and where we are today in October, we're pretty tight on the schedule. But and just from my experience, though, sir, I found that, again, as I said previously, when you announce and have a block of times that's pretty concise, people will pick and choose the ones that fit them best. Sometimes they think about it and mark it, and then say, oh, I forgot, and it was last week, and they thought it was this week. We also try to suggest reducing any type of confusion in your community about when they are.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Lovich?
Thanks very much. On that, I would just suggest that it's clear to the community what the format and duration of those sessions would be.
Sure.
And also make it clear to the community as well that they can attend any session they like that fits with their schedules. It's not geographically confined.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to be, I'm glad you said that. Absolutely. That's what they're open to all community members, all stakeholders, parents, grandparents, just business leaders, things of that nature. We want them to pick the time that's best conducive to their schedule. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. How long do you expect those sessions to run typically when you're
They run
experienced?
about 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
Tops. Yes, yes.
Second question, or a question I have is, when will we get to meet you one-on-one to discuss
Sure.
our vision for a superintendent?
I would suggest during that week, but we can always schedule something via Zoom, things like that, or Teams call, video conferencing, just between each trustee and my calendar. I would more than love to do that. I think that might be the easiest, so that I know how busy you are with your own work and your other board meetings that you have.
Okay.
So I could work with staff to
right.
get those scheduled, and
That'd be great.
We could meet one-on-one. I would appreciate that. It always helps me get to know your district better, but also helps in our recruiting and with candidates, things like that, building the profile.
Thank you very much. Next question is, what is a leadership report exactly?
Leadership report is, you're the leaders, you're the board members. It's just the summary reports
The summary reports?
that we provide to you. When launching this fall, not only, again, we like to give you, not to inundate you with the information, but all of the data. I feel like to be transparent and open, that you see all comments, all information. But we also want to summarize too for you, so we can pull themes, main ideas, and we're working to also then provide that for you and the district, so that, as I mentioned previously on your website, things like that, that the community would be open to see what were the results of the online survey, what were the results then of the face-to-face meetings.
Okay, thank you.
That's our goal, is to get those processed by that time.
Then my next question would be regarding the interviews. I noticed that there's 2 stacked dates running from 6 p.m. on up to 10 p.m. for that.
Those are just placeholders?
They're
Yes, sir.
placeholders?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
One of the things about the interviews was looking at your calendars, and with holiday, with the Thanksgiving, and I believe Board President mentioned you have fall break coming with all the students, things like that, so in October. So looking at those was that is just with 4. I mean, we generally recommend anywhere from 4 to 7 candidates you may select for your first round of interviews. So you want to be flexible with that. I do understand the new statutes regarding when you can duly call, if it needs to be during the business day. So I think you could realistically even look, if the board members were able to attend, if we needed a 5th or a 6th slot to look at, maybe 5 o'clock, 5 to 6:30, 6:30 to 8 to 9:30, something. We could really move them pretty quickly,
Yeah.
things like that.
I don't know how the rest of the board feels about it. My preference would be to condense it as much as possible. So if we do one big long marathon stretch, I can see that working out.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
So-
multiple dates.
I suggest no more than 3 then on one day, though, just
Okay.
because of the.
3 per day?
Starting to blur, starting to candidates, so you have distinct differences in time to think and reflect on each candidate that you hear, because it's important to
Yep.
evaluate that and to kind of get a fresh start when you then, the next one comes in, things like that.
And what are you looking at in the follow-ups generally? If you're
The follow-up,
to give up
yes,
to
sir.
7?
Yes, sir. The follow-up interviews, we do have 3 days slated. We do recommend, those are those that you would like to visit with, learn more about, ask further follow-up questions. So we do have 3. Some boards choose 2. I've had boards that had a difficult decision and brought 4 back. So it's it's based on your decision. But in that particular time, again, that time frame, 6:30 was just a time slot.
Gotcha.
We suggest that you invite the candidate and maybe his or her spouse, family. Oftentimes they would like to do that. They'd like to been in your community to see if they could see themselves here in El Paso, but also a chance for you to meet them. It's very critical that it's a family decision, we believe. So you get insight that way as well to see the interaction. For only, though, about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, just a short reception. And then the follow-up interview, I don't want to scare anyone off in this statement, but it is somewhat unstructured. Meaning, I want you to be thinking after you screen and you have your scripted, the same questions for every candidate in the first round. What stood out? What follow-up questions do you want to ask? What do you want to learn more? It should be more conversational in that way so that you get to know the person better. I say this all the time, you just, in one interview only, that's not always the best barometer of that person. You want to get to know them better and see things that they mentioned that they really do have the depth and can talk further about. Say they talked about an early literacy program in their district. Were they really involved in it, or they just knew about it and inherited it, or this or that? It's a way to really understand some of the things that stand out to you.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
I want to, sorry, Trustee Call, I kind of want to actually ask these questions to you, because Trustee Collar and I are the only ones that have been through this before.
Yes.
We did not have a informal sort of meet and greet.
And you don't have to, just a suggestion.
Yeah, I think there is an additional cost to that, Ms. Gatos. Is there a cost for us to that on hosting as well? So those are two concerns that I have. One, before I forget, I do want to briefly mention that Tuesday, the 18th of November, is our regular board meeting day.
Okay.
So that one takes that one out. I do think we have to be careful about consistency and fairness and making sure that the format is the same for our candidates. I think in the past, we've generally entertained a structure where every candidate was asked the same question and given the same amount of time. That would be my concern for the follow-up interviews. I do think we should be able to start, I mean, if we're condensing that, or do we have time on the 19th? Can we look at that?
Yes,
Oh, I won't.
it's up to the trustees if you can meet on Wednesday, the 19th.
Actually, I will be out of town on Wednesday, the 19th. Which could push us back to,
Any major conflict on that day?
yes, I'll be out of town on the 19th.
Oh, you'll be gone, okay.
We have the 13th and the 14th. And I would say we should start these at 5. And if they're about an hour, how long are they?
We
The
recommend
interviews.
90 minutes.
90 minutes, okay.
And that's part of the interview, is to maintain that 90-minute, like as mentioned, to be sure each candidate is asked the same question in that first round, and it's timed and timely, things of that nature.
So if we can do the 13th and the 14th, that gives us 2 days.
We could. My only concern is notification to candidates. If we're not deciding who they are, we're doing that on the 10th of a Monday, just with your travel, if they're not close to the El Paso area, just with arrangements, things like that. That would be my only.
Would we be able
Pause.
to review on Friday, the 7th?
It's up to the trustees in
So-
terms of the amount of time you need to review each one.
Sorry, I didn't catch the
So
date
if
there.
we reviewed on the 10th of November, then we could let them know that night. They would give them a few days to come in. I think that's okay. I think that's probably the best time slot. And then we could do 3 a day, 5 to 6:30, 6:30 to 8, 8 to 9:30 on the 13th and 14th.
So not the 17th Monday at all? Just skip that day?
Yeah, I think the 13th, and I'll defer to the board if whether you want to do like a Thursday, Friday, or a Thursday, Monday,
Right.
Thursday, Friday, Monday.
I think it's wise to do it back to back so that everything is fresh. Because if there's like a 3-4 day gap between like the first couple of interviews and this, it's hard to like compare easily.
That makes sense. So the 13th and the 14th?
Well, I was just going to ask, is there any way that you would be able to Zoom in with us if we kept it, that time is so short, I feel, I don't know.
For the,
So like if you're saying that we review by,
it's just picking which 2 days?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is you're suggesting we review applications by on the 10th. And then we're wanting candidates to be here on the 13th and 14th, so that's 1, 2, 3 or 4 days. I mean, do you think that's enough notice?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, no, it's difficult. It's pretty tight as it is with the calendar, your location and the fact candidates sometimes will have prior commitments, like their own board meeting or something like that. We try to work with them, but it could limit participation in your interview.
And then, so what's the issue, President Hanani? It's Tuesday is our regular board meeting, is that what it is?
Yeah, we cannot do
Yeah.
do it on the regular board meeting day because we
Oh.
won't have any time. I mean, we could do Friday and Monday, but like trustee
That's
Cole
better.
said,
Yeah.
that's,
It does allow Canada an option. 1 week versus the second week there. You know, we work with the candidates, we handle all of the scheduling.
And then on the 19th, it's because you're going to be out of town, is that what you said? So
Yeah,
that's why
the-
we can't,
right, I have a.
and you can't Zoom in? Is that
No, not for interviews.
No,
No, there's no way.
okay.
Yeah, it's important that we're all there in person, like, because there's things that you,
Oh, I think confidential, for confidentiality
Yeah.
reasons as well. It
Yeah,
wouldn't be.
Yeah, I highly recommend all 7 of you be here
Yeah.
in person
Yeah.
for that.
Okay.
We could work with the 14th and the 17th.
Okay.
Is that consensus, a Friday, Monday? Just a little more time for the candidate notification?
So basically, if they can't make it on Friday, then they would take the next few days.
I mean, trustee Call, is that like, because you were saying that you like the information just,
yeah, I mean, that's not ideal, but if that's our best option, that's our best option.
okay.
And then on the follow-up interviews, I hearing the feedback, I'm also kind of thinking keeping them in one day. I'm not sure we need 3 days to do the follow-up interviews. I think it presents it's a lot for staff, it's a lot for the board. And if we're not going to be doing the informal meet and greet dinner type thing, I think keeping them all in one day would be probably wise, but I'll defer to the board to see if that's the board's interest.
I think I have a follow-up question for that. What has been, I guess, in your selection searches in the past, how long have those interviews lasted for the follow-up interviews?
To be honest with you, they last anywhere from an hour, hour and a half, depending on the conversation, to 2 hours. Just because there's more engagement and you can see where I'm going. Oftentimes with that, I was going to say, a recommendation is oftentimes boards will look at 2 on one night, 1, and then leave time to deliberate and think and talk. And so remember that. If you do 3 in one day, you're also then finishing up with the follow-ups and then still need some time to talk about it.
Okay.
And so a lot of times boards will look at 2. That's very, very reasonable for follow-up interviews. And then the second one, like 5:30, and then you have the rest of the evening to talk amongst yourselves and deliberate.
So if we're doing that, let's say that happens on December the 2nd and 3rd, when would be the vote to name the finalists? Does it stay on the 8th?
Yes, unless, that's, your general counsel was asking me as I was coming into the building. We suggest that this is consensus, but it's not officially approved by you, so that you have to come back to a board meeting and change, because things can happen. meaning there could be an emergency amongst one of you, and you needed to adjust a date, things like that. And so it's not necessarily approved, and so as the question is about naming the lone finalist, as long as you have the 72-hour notice, you can name a lone finalist. So if your last one is December the 3rd, and you're posting, because of the weekend, I just didn't see another time. That's the soonest you can because of the 72 hours is the 8th.
Okay, that makes sense. So let's,
But I'm sorry to interrupt, but there is
Yeah.
some boards do for also, go ahead and with the packet we have provided, just in case I call it, put possible naming of the lone finalists at the conclusion of the second round interview. So they will, as I mentioned to you, have the first round on one day. In your case, that would be the December the 2nd. On the 3rd, they have one more interview, deliberation, and then they do have it possibility to name a lone finalist. From your discussion right then and there too. So I've seen it done both ways.
flexibility, but and the board doesn't have to, if they're not ready to.
No, absolutely not. They can wait, get final referencing, final checks, things like that.
But the language is just for flexibility?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Trustee Cole, did you have another question?
Yeah, I want to go back to the job posting. Where can I find that? I have not seen that yet.
Okay. We post it on our ESS site, and then we post it through texasisd.com, which predominantly superintendents look for. We post it on tasanet.org. And then after today, when I finalize the calendar with you, I'll look at other type of postings like AASA, things like that.
How long has it been posted?
As soon as I'm trying to remember, as soon as after we got the contract signed.
Okay.
So about a week, maybe 10 days.
Do we have any applicants yet? Obviously,
Some.
we have some. So,
They're building their application, sir. They don't necessarily how our process works. They don't have to finish. It's not a race to finish it. They can start building the application. There's no gain by finishing it first, anything of that nature. So they start the process.
right. I'll be honest, I was expecting to have some input on the actual job posting because that, having hired quite a few people in the past in a business sense, like that's half the battle is creating, the right job posting with the right, things that we say that we're looking for to attract the right person. So walk me through how you crafted the posting. Is it just a standard thing that, you copy and paste for?
It's standard in the fact that it is our VidCruiter application system, yes. Yes, it is. And so, but within that, though, we ask different documents, different deliverables from the candidates. We ask for, of course, resumes and cover letters. We also ask, we have a video component that they answer questions to. So certainly, yes, it's just we can customize and can ask and ask the candidates to respond to open-ended questions. Also, they have some general questions that they do answer for each application, but we can customize those too, based on input. It's been trying to get together and find that opportunity for the input.
Can we adjust it?
Sure, of course. Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
look through it and I think
Yeah.
like, hey, we need to explicitly mention
Yeah.
such and such.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely,
okay.
we can adjust, we can make adjustments. Oftentimes what we've done is, I said, we have some standard open-ended type questions that we ask candidates to address to El Paso ISD. They're broad. We have found to be critical elements of a superintendent to be effective in a school district, but we have then added personalized questions too. And so that might be a good opportunity, as we talked about, Zoom or Teams call to get face-to-face to do that.
And Trustee Call, I would say nobody on the board has seen the actual job posting. I personally haven't seen it or had any input on it. Seems like a boilerplate that was added. But if you want, we can have another meeting to discuss it, or you can just give your input to
Yeah,
Mr.
no.
Cazares.
No need for a meeting. I'm leaving for fall break tomorrow anyway, so I'll get your phone number and we'll,
Yeah.
get together.
Well, I was
Get a
going to ask,
call.
is it possible to just send us the links of everywhere it is? That way we can.
Sure, I
view it?
can give you a summary of those, yeah, sure.
And I think
Of the
that
links.
probably should, to your point, Mr. Cazares, be posted on the website, maybe in a search area. That way those links are accessible to the public
Now, just remember again that each link will take them to, eventually to us, to TASB/ESS to do the application. So it's not like they're applying at different locations, different sources that they come. That's not, we apply because that is, part of the benefit is you have one portal, and you will be, that portal will be open to you at the end of the application period, so to see each candidate as well. So they're applying with, to us.
Trustee Claire?
Yes. If I can go back, I guess, to the listening sessions, Mr. Kazanis, I know that you had stated that it's typically about 45 minutes to an hour for those sessions, depending upon who shows up, what's going on.
Yes, sir.
I would ask that you block out at least a 3-hour block for each one of those days. And that's only because if we have different people within the community that are coming at a different time, at least so that, I mean, we can be accessible, you can be accessible if they have questions, only because I know that with this search and everything that's kind of come and all the, baggage that kind of comes with where we're at this point, I don't want the public to say something like, well, they were only available for 45 minutes and I was stuck in traffic, or I get off of work at 5 and by the time I got there it was over and people were gone. So, I mean, I want to make sure that we get the broadest range and amount of stakeholders to show up, so that they can have that input, and they can have that one-on-one. So, I mean, the last thing I want is for someone to have that question, that concern, and then not be able to get it answered, especially directly from you, being the search consultant, and then from us with any other follow-up information that we may have. But I'm venturing to say that most of those questions are going to be geared towards you and your expertise and your background. So that's just something that I would ask for, something that's maybe not needed necessarily in the sense of, I mean, I don't want everybody waiting around for 3 hours, but on the flip side, I also want that availability there. I don't know how the other board members feel about that.
I think if they're combined, there might be an opportunity to have that. And that does remind me, can you talk a little bit about the additional community engagement that the firm does? I can think of visits with focus or stakeholder groups, PTA
Sure.
comes to mind.
Sure.
Oftentimes,
Oftentimes, a typical structure might look like something, as you mentioned, in the morning session and then maybe a later afternoon. But during the lunch hour, oftentimes we've had success with trustees. Just provide, and again, working with the district, names of folks in the community maybe that receive some form of a invite to attend if it's your chamber business league, things of that nature, PTA presidents, things like that, just so there's a special time that we host that particular listening session as well. We can do that.
And I think maybe if every trustee could submit a list of stakeholder groups to the firm, that could help create a list. I also want to make sure that the trustees have regular updates with you. Is it too much to ask that you check in with them once a week with each
No,
trustee? Is
not
that
at all.
Okay,
Not at all.
so at least a weekly check-in, and then, of course, you'll
But
be available.
just define check-in.
Update on that.
Yeah, I can certainly provide that,
Yeah.
and we can correspond that way, things like that,
Yeah.
as long as it's one-on-one, I know how to do that. Make sure.
And I think the sooner that you can schedule a one-on-one via Zoom with each trustee, I think
That's gonna help the most,
better
yeah.
everybody will feel, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, and quick question for the community involvement sessions, just to trustee Claire's point, is it possible to split it up throughout, times of the day, like
Sure.
like a breakfast, lunch or evening session?
Right. What we typically do recommend is always, if again, from the type of meeting I just mentioned to you with invitees, we always recommend around a noon hour type of session and then a later in the day session at minimum for folks to come.
Great.
We can split up through, I do have to look at staffing and being sure I can appropriately staff more locations, things like that, because of but with the 3 as suggested will certainly help us because as I mentioned, we want to be, I can envision working through that Tuesday, Wednesday, possibly that Thursday of that week.
Okay.
Trustee Leverage?
So regarding the stakeholder group list, I think it would be a good idea to set a rough deadline for that for trustees and maybe have a common email reminder so that we don't miss the boat on that.
Okay.
And then same thing with application feedback. I think all of us should at the same time receive that application that's live, and we should commit to give feedback by a certain date, probably 48, 72 hours. What works for you, by Friday perhaps?
Right. So I understand the deadline for the community getting names from you. Now explain the second.
Oh, well, I think
application
we
line.
all want to see what's been posted so far. We
Oh,
want to
okay,
give you your
yes.
feedback.
Sure, that'll be in a posting.
Okay.
Right. In terms of an email back to you about
All
where we
right.
are with that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir. I understand. I would say a good rule of thumb then would be by the end of this week.
So
for-
we're
for
agreeing on the
names.
10th then, October 10th?
Yes.
Can we agree on that?
For
For stakeholder feedback and application feedback? Okay.
And I would suggest on the stakeholder group, 3 to 5 names. Like I said, I don't want to overburden you, but there could be some overlap, possibly, but I think that would be wise, so we can keep it manageable. But to state, all of your community is a stakeholder. All of them are important, and that's why the public meetings are crucial that you hold. As I mentioned, the opening remarks, again, for information you may affirm what you know and are anticipating and ready to utilize, or learn new things that will help you in this process.
Yeah, thank you. Would it be possible to move up the timeline slightly where we review the applicants on the 7th? Or excuse me, the 6th? Thursday the 6th, and then have the interviews. That way we could facilitate doing the interviews back-to-back on the 13th and 14th. Seems like that'd be enough time for folks to get to town if,
So if I understand you correctly, application deadline, but you're saying the review of applications would be the when?
the 6th.
That's one day then for you. I don't think that's possible. Because our deadline is November the 5th. So that's when by midnight, candidates are filing and finishing. Anything less, then we process that for you and open the portal the very next morning.
The turnaround time is too quick then.
That's not feasible.
Would the 7th be feasible?
For us, we can get it to you, that gives you one day as a trustee.
But don't we review the applications like together?
You do.
Anyway?
You do. But we do I feel like it's important for you to have some time to look at each one, because we do have, as I mentioned to you, the deliverables. There's questions that they're answering, their resumes, cover letters, maybe letters of recommendation. The video component's not burdensome. It's 3-4 minutes, but it's found to be very crucial in this process.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, let's keep
So
it
I
that way.
would anticipate you needed some time.
Yep, got it.
A couple of things as well. How does the community get the profile, receipt of the profile? Is that?
That was with the, as mentioned previously, the leadership report, November the 4th.
Does that go on a website? How does that
Yes,
work?
we want to provide you information as board trustees first, and then we work to provide the staff how that could be posted then on your website.
In terms of our next meeting then, will be, board members will be, just in terms of next steps here, and I want to make sure that get to this by the end of the 8:59. We've got 9 minutes, everybody. You'll meet with trustees individually over Zoom.
Yes.
That'll happen ASAP. Community involvement is the next time that we'll see you, and I'm hearing a desire for 3 joint geographic sessions. Is there sort of a consensus on that? Does anybody have any issues with that? So 3 joint sessions puts the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The communication with that, you'll work with comms to get that out as quickly as possible so that the community has lead time. Applications, you'll be sending out and soliciting feedback for stakeholder groups by this week. And actually, I guess the application, I just Googled it on TASB, but I guess if you
You
could
just
get
want,
that.
on that, you just want to know where it's posted?
Yeah, if you could send that, get that
Sure.
to trustees
Yeah.
today, maybe. And then review of applications will be the next posted board meeting, is that correct?
Yes, yes,
On November the 10th?
yes.
Initial interviews will be the 14th and the 17th? Is that correct? So that'll be posted.
14th and the 17th, and I will start at 5
5, perfect, thank you.
for those. posting.
Prepare for follow-up interviews?
That's just simply, generally can be a phone call to me, things like that.
Oh, got it,
Just to
okay.
be sure if there are any other questions, and of course, so I can start notifying candidates, things like that.
They don't have to call you at 10 PM, though. I
Yeah,
see.
I wake up, yeah.
Well, I see 10 PM on here.
No, because that could be your late in the night.
Okay. I'm just kidding. Okay, so that's just afterwards. So after the initial interviews.
That would be then on the 17th, that Monday night, yes. And I'll clean this all up and get it back to
So
you.
just and I'm just being facetious, so just a debriefing, basically.
Yes,
Okay, just a debriefing immediately following the
minutes,
initial
tops.
interviews. Okay. And then follow-up interviews will be the 2nd and the 3rd,
yes. And they'll start again early on those as well,
2 per day.
yes. And 1 on the 3rd,
Okay. And 1 on the 3rd with
possible posting.
possible posting of the loan finalist announcement and also a deliberation period
Yes.
Um,
Of
afterwards.
candidates, yes.
I would say site visit has been thrown out the window by this point, I think. How does everybody feel about a site visit? I personally am not, I think we kind of skipped it through this whole process. So we're going to take the site visit out. And then we'll determine whether we need to have an additional day for posting of another
Right.
date.
Yeah, that's
depending
my
on-
suggestion. As soon as possible, then after your December 3rd date would be, the first day possible would be the 8th.
Okay. Well, unless, if it's already posted, then if we decide we want to do it a different date, correct?
Right.
Okay. Any questions about that, then, those dates? I think that's okay. Yeah. Just a quick note, Ms. Carrasco will not be here on December the 2nd. Ms. Carrasco will not be here on December 2nd, so we'll be working with somebody else for that particular date.
Okay. Okay.
Okay? That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Do we need to take action on accepting this timeline, or this is just an open discussion, Ms. Collins?
No.
It looks like we will not be able to have the discussion about the district facilities and construction projects. That will need to be moved to a separate date. If we could please get the report, though, posted, given to trustees today, and then find a way to get that posted as well somehow. Thank you. The time is now 8:54, 8:55, and this meeting is adjourned.